In southwestern Utah is one of the most photogenic ghost towns of the entire state, with an amazing history to go with it. We'll show you one of our favorite ghost towns next on Ghost Towns and More. Hidden along the south banks of the Virgin River in southwest Utah are remains of a beautifully preserved ghost town that has a backdrop near the entrance of Zion National Park. The scenery is a photographer's dream. In 1859, early settlers and pioneers of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints sent explorers here to see if a sustainable settlement could be established. They especially wanted to see if this location would be suitable for growing cotton. With the Virgin River providing ample water and with a mild climate, it seemed like the ideal location to establish a new farming community. When word got back to church leaders that this place could sustain farming and family life, a few families came in wagons with everything they owned and established a humble settlement. Materials were scarce for building at first, so these families built makeshift homes from the boxes on their wagons. Farming and irrigation were meager as these people tried to get established. A dam was built in the Virgin River to direct irrigation water to the crops that were planted. Residents had no idea how unpredictable the weather could be in this area. It looked so beautiful and serene, and the canyon looked like it would afford ample protection. But in late 1860, a cold weather front moved in during December, and it didn't let up. It rained over the region for 40 days straight, causing rivers to rise and overflow their banks. In January 1862, with the rainy weather not letting up, one resident found herself in a troublesome predicament. Mrs. Nathan Tenney was inside her crude shelter when she went into labor. As the floodwaters engulfed the new settlement, water was pouring through the cracks in her shelter as she was about to give birth. Her husband Nathan called out to other people to help rescue his wife. Several men floated over a wagon box and Mrs. Tenney was lifted into it. Using ropes, the men pulled Mrs. Tenney free as they watched her humble home collapse and was washed away in the flooded river. As Mrs. Tenney was pulled to safety, she gave birth to a baby boy. So affected by this event, the Tenneys decided to name that poor boy Marvelous Flood Tenney. It's assumed everyone called him Marv after that. Residents in nearby towns downstream watched in amazement as pieces of homes, furniture, and clothing came floating by in the river. With everything destroyed by the flood, the residents of Grafton decided not to remain where there would be risk of flooding, so they moved their town site upstream to where it remains today. The people of Grafton started over and replanted. They all had to rely on each other as one big family. They raised different crops and fruit trees and even planted mulberry trees for silkworms with the intent of selling silk. But the Virgin River proved to be more foe than friend due to the sandy soil in the area. Irrigation ditches and diversion banks seldom held up for long without being washed away. A minor flood from the river could wipe out vegetable gardens and an entire year's worth of labor. Sometimes people watched 40 feet of embankment wash away in as little as 10 minutes. The settlers forged on, building homes and a beautiful adobe church building that also served as a school and community center. It is perhaps one of the most photographed structures in all of Utah's ghost towns. By June of 1868, most of the town residents had had enough of the problematic Virgin River. The instability of the soil and risk of flooding became too much to put up with, so the majority left and moved to more established towns further to the west. By 1920, there were only 3 families left, and by 1945, the last resident left for good. In more recent years, movie producers discovered this iconic gem of a ghost town, and it became a site for scenes in the movie Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Grafton has been the site of other movies as well. It's also a scenic, treasured location for artists and photographers. Thanks to the efforts of groups dedicated to the preservation of Grafton, the remaining buildings and homes have been under continuous care and protection, so that the public can come to see this remarkable place, a testament to the dedication and efforts of people who suffered through more than their fair share to get through life. The town cemetery is just to the south and on the left of the old dirt road as you approach town. The interpretive signs and epitaphs on the graves tell heart-wrenching stories of the sacrifices and losses people endured. As one of the more premier ghost towns in Utah, we stress that visitors to this remarkable place take extra care to protect and treat the structures and town site with respect, taking nothing from the sites and not causing damage to the grounds or buildings. There are interpretive signs near the entrance to the town site that provide additional history and insight. Grafton is located close to the town of Rockville on the opposite side of the river. A small bridge that crosses the Virgin River from Rockville leads directly to the town site. Grafton will likely be one of the more memorable ghost towns you'll visit as you come to appreciate the history and lives of these early settlers.